It was very clear to us already when I took over as CEO in the end of 2008 of Unilever itself that we needed to change the way we were doing business. Not only was there a burning platform because of the financial crisis or because of the situation that Unilever had found itself in, but it was also clear that the world around us was changing fast. I think then already, and even more so now since COVID, we have discovered that we can't have unlimited growth on a finite planet, and anything you can't do forever is by definition unsustainable. We cut down the forest to produce our food. Half of the world's forests are gone. We continue to do this. We keep the smallholder farmer very poor. We keep the children stunted by not giving them enough nutrition. We have about 3.5 to 4 billion people either being undernourished or overnourished. And then we waste about 30 to 40% of the food that we produce. So I could not think of a more broken system than our food system. So we set ourselves an objective of having 100% sustainably sourced, of decoupling our growth from environmental impact. But not only that, also to ensure that not only the environmental sides of the food chain were covered, but also the social sides. So commitments of creating 5 million jobs for smallholder farmers, ensuring that we had the balance between males and females in our value chain and had gender parity, ensuring that we had living wages, that human rights standards were being adhered to. And what we found was, because we increasingly moved to this sustainable sourcing that required these partnerships through the value chain, that required investments in relationships, resilience, etc., that now that we deal with COVID, that we deal with the effects of climate change, which are more apparent now than ever, that our value chain is actually more resilient. Some of the Unilever brands who have taken on this higher purpose of reducing food waste or helping farmers create livelihoods or protecting our biodiversity. These brands are simply better placed and, not surprisingly, are growing faster and also actually are more profitable. I have always believed, and I've seen it in Unilever as well, that the return on your investment in the food system is one of our highest. In fact, for every dollar invested in our food system, we estimate that we have a $15 to an $18 return. We still have about 600 billion of per subsidies in agriculture that will push us in the wrong directions of degrading land or cutting down forests. We have a European Common Agriculture Policy that frankly keeps Africa poor. Africa should never be an importer of food. It should be an exporter of food and certainly provide enough food to fulfill the needs of their own people. So we need to change these broader frameworks and policies, and that is where the bigger challenge is in this current environment. Increasingly, we're trying to address that by bringing these businesses collectively together, as I mentioned, and help to de-risk the political process. So ending on a positive note, I'm actually hopeful because of the technology that develops, because of the young people and their passion and their purpose. A lot of money will be transferred to the next generation, and the Gen Zs and the millennials are definitely more engaged and looking for solutions, also more willing to change their own habits. And then I'm really positive because I think more people are starting to realize that the cost of not acting is actually higher than the cost of acting. So we're sitting on this enormous opportunity. Now the only way to have a long-term decent return is to get your businesses to move in a more sustainable, more equitable direction. And the companies that are doing that are positioning themselves very well for the future. The companies that don't, I think, are increasingly heading for the graveyard of dinosaurs, and that's not where you want to be.